Hex and our very special guest Bindi last week on The Big Show reviewed Toy Story 3, the video game, but now I've had a play and I've got some thoughts on it as well.
Well, fair enough. Toy Story's had a long history though, hasn't it, Badge? I mean, some of you may not even remember when Toy Story 1 came out way back in 1995, but I bet you all love Woody, Buzz and the gang all the same.
Did you know that Toy Story was the first film to be entirely computer-generated? It's just a pity it didn't have more robots.
Fair enough. Toy Story 3 has 2 modes. First up, the story mode includes 7 missions which cover some of the more important events from the film.
It's mostly basic platforming stuff. You jump a lot, climb a bit, and even get to ride some pretty psychedelic rails. You don't really get to choose which character you play. Some missions are for Woody and some are for Buzz, but a couple let you switch between the two along with Jessie.
Yeah, I found those missions the most fun and challenging. Each character has their own special moves, so it was quite fun trying to work out which one you had to use to complete certain parts of the mission. But the other ones, they were just boring and repetitive. Tedious even.
Oh, did you get sick of lasering Zurg's henchmen, Barjo?
I do have a lasering limit, Darren.
Oh, I never get sick of lasering anything.
Yeah, we know.
You know, I just found it so frustrating when developers make you slog through boring bits of level just to get to the good bits. You know, I wish they'd just split their levels up into sections so that I could go back and play the parts that I really liked.
So, we meet again, Buzz Lightyear, for the last time.
The second mode is Toy Box mode, which is pretty much your playground.
I, Mayor Ham, hereby make you the Sheriff of Woody's Roundup. Congratulations!
There are many missions to complete and gold stars to collect as you build and populate your town, fulfilling your role as a sheriff in the Wild West.
Now this is where the real fun happens, Barjo. You can decorate buildings, dress up toys simply by throwing them into a shop window and buying new toys with the coins you collect. It's an open world environment, so you can just explore and new areas open up as you complete the missions.
Or if that doesn't interest you, you can just ride Bullseye around, check out the racetrack, play dodgeball with your townsfolk, and even drop kick a few aliens. You can also discover stuff from the Pixar catalogue, and I thought that the Toy Box mode was way more fun than the story mode, Hex.
Yeah, Badge. I mean, it really just lets you play on your own terms, and that's what you want to do with your toys most of the time.
Would you like to know what my favourite bit in Toy Box mode was?
Sure, Darren.
It definitely has to be the spoof ads.
What I really liked about the game was the look of it. Earlier Toy Story games never really looked like the movies, but here you feel like you're in the movie. It looks like the movie.
Yeah, it's fantastic. The graphics are so rich. You really get a sense of that Toy Story world when you see all those brilliant textures and the animation of the toys. And the colours are so vibrant. It's just a joy to play. It makes you all warm and fuzzy, really.
Although sometimes the colour is so bright you really need sunnies.
You can also share the Toy Story experience with a buddy in co-op in both story mode and Toy Box.
Local multiplayer is a good idea, and generally it works okay, but the respawn times were a killer, Hex. I felt the whole time I was just waiting for my friend to die or to reach the next checkpoint before I could play again. So frustrating.
Yeah, the co-op here really could have been done better, and as you see the split screen in our LEGO Harry Potter review, the split screen in this game really seems last generation by comparison.
You know what's also last gen, Hex? Muddy controls and bad depth perception. It's just so annoying when you're stuck in that continuous deep spiral of jump fail. But enough of that. Final thoughts?
You know, I think even though we've been somewhat critical, I actually had a lot of fun with this game, Barjo. You know, I loved the movies growing up and I adore Woody, Buzz and the gang, and this was just genuinely enjoyable, and I think it still manages to provide that sense of wonder. I'm sticking with an 8.
There were bits I couldn't stand, and I never want to play that last mission again, but it's one of the rare movie games which is actually not that bad, so don't be afraid to get creative. I'm giving it 7.5 out of 10 rubber chickens.
Getting something in carbon fibre, you know what the
No,
pull
the
is.
recurve is much nicer.
Hey Darren, do you know anything about this which hit me in the face during the very important news segment today?
I mistook thee for wild game in the distance.
Right, Hex, we're doing this Brave review right here and right now.
Yeah, I think we should probably just get on with it.
Vagrant, please resheath me arrow in its quiver before we begin.
You deal with it, Hex. Now, I was very excited when the Brave game came into the office because the movie was very beautiful and the recent Pixar-related games have actually looked quite good. So surely this game will look as good as them.
Yes, it's not quite up to that Pixar visual standard we're used to, is it?
Here's a fine weapon.
Just like the movie, the game stars the Scottish princess Merida, who's had her mum turned into a bear by a forest witch.
If I can't remove Mordu's blight, will she ever be my mum again?
Unfortunately, there is a lot that this game gets wrong, but first let's talk about what it gets right.
Yes, well, they got her hair colour right. But no, to be fair, the Brave movie is a difficult one, I think, to translate into a video game because it's really a story about a relationship between Merida and her mother. To flesh out the gameplay, you'll spend a lot of time whacking enchanted beasties. The swordplay is generic, but the archery mechanic is pretty slick because it uses twin stick controls, so you can move while shooting in any direction.
It's also good to see a co-op mode where the second player plays a ghostly wisp that's much easier to play for younger spawnlings. If the wisp is having trouble keeping up with Merida, it can just teleport to her, and infinite lives always helps.
Sadly, the rest of the game conforms to very typical platforming standards. Merida collects coins from bushes and barrels.
Yes, one thing that troubled me was that why is she collecting coins? Why does she even need coins? She's a princess. I think the royal families are pretty cashed up.
I think you're overthinking this, Barjo. I mean, it's a fairy tale.
Affirmative. She collects coins so she can buy new abilities and equipment from the trading stones.
Yeah, giant stones that are actually shops? That's a bit weird.
Affirmative. She must also call on her triplet brothers, who are actually bear cubs, to solve puzzles to open doors for her.
Well done, boys. Now stay close and...
I'm sorry, but I think I have to have a tiny little rant. Firstly, why would you build doors in a castle that can only be opened by 3 little bears in tandem? And why is it necessary for Merida to use magic spells to build missing platforms all the time? How do regular people without magic walk around the forest? And why is the game so short? And why are there invisible walls everywhere? And why does the camera take so long to follow you? And why can't Merida swim? And you know what the worst thing is? And the worst thing...
Darren, did you just laser Barjo?
Oh, I merely fired my sleep ray. He was going to have a rant meltdown. He'll be fine in a few minutes. Sort of explained with being a cat.
Wait, so Barjo's gonna think he's a cat?
Oh, it only happens in a small percentage of humans.
Right. Well, Barjo may have been ranting, but there's no denying that Brave was a bit of a disappointment.
Affirmative. Especially so when you compare it to the smartphone version. It's a simple update of Temple Run, but the visuals are good.
All right, well, final thoughts, Barjo?
Could I give a score instead?
All right, Darren.
Well, consulting my scoring matrix, this game computes as 3.141592653.
Darren, that sounds like the mathematical formula for pi, and we only score in whole and half numbers.
Oh, all right. Well, it's a 3 from me.
Okay, well, I think you're being a little bit tough there, Darren, but not by much. I'm giving it 5. Barjo?